Right, learners, another very common adjustment that you're going to come across is this one, like in question 6, point number 7, where it says the monthly rent income was increased by 10% on the 1st of March. The tenant has not yet paid the rent for June. Now I'm going to explain this, and I'm going to overlap it with the one in question 10, where it's a similar thing, but there they give you an amount instead of a percentage. So let's have a look here now. I've actually taken this and I've put it into here now. There's the same information, the rent figure that's in this trial balance. If you look back to your trial balance that you've given over here, your rent income is 135,600. Your financial year, if you look here, ends on the 30th of June. So the first thing is, let's just draw a timeline. Your year ends on the 30th of June. So you would have started the year before on the 1st of July. Now you want the 12 months rent in your income statement. But they're telling you that the rent has not been paid for June. So the first thing to work out is that this rent has only been paid for 11 months. But now, we can't just take this 135,600 and divide it by 11, because it was increased by 10% on the 1st of March. So if we take our timeline and we say, right, the 1st of March here, that means that from the 1st of July to the 8th of March, which is 8 months, the rent was at the old amount. And then from the 1st of March, April, May, another 3 months, the rent was at the increased amount. And remember that June hasn't been paid. So if we make this an equation, we say, right, 8 months times, and we work with 100. And I explained this when I did cost of sales too. So our starting point is always at 100. So there were 100 X's. We don't know what the rent was, so we say it was 100 X's. In other words, there was 800 X's. Then there was 3 months, and it increased by 10%. So now it's 3 times 110 X's, which is 330 X's. We work that out, so the 11 months rent came to 1130 X's. Now you should know this from your maths, and if need be, even ask your maths teachers to go over this with you. Now this figure of 135,600, which is the rent we're given, is equal to 1130 X's. You want to solve it, and you want to find 1x, and then we're going to multiply by June's rent, which is after the increase, is times 110. You could have worked 100 and then add the 10% after that. So just going over that 135,600 is equal to 1130 X's. We can't just divide it by 11 because there was an increase of 10%. So we've got the old and we've got the new, and it is equal to 1130 X's. I want to know for June, which June is after the increases, so it's times 110, and that equals 13,200. So in your rent figure, remember it's still owing for this year, you'll have to add on another rent of 13,200, and there's an income receivable of 13,200. Now I want to look at question 10. Alright, so we're on question 10, and if you look at adjustment number 1, it says to you the rent for March has been received in advance. Now our financial year is ending at the end of February, so the first thing we need to know is that there's been 13 months rent here, because they've received March in advance. The total rent received according to the trial balance was 33,400, and this time the rent increased by 300 Rand per month. So whereas in question 6 it increased by a percentage, this one increased by an amount. So how are we going to solve this? So let's have a look here now. So there's the information there. Your year is running from the 1st of March to the 28th of February. Very important that you sort out the day. Now you've already received March's. It's been received for March in advance. So you have actually received 13 months rent. So this 33,400 is 13 months rent. Now again, we can't just divide by 13 because there was an increase by 300 Rand per month from the 1st of January. So from the 1st of January here, there was an increase of 300 Rand. So if we look at it over here, these 10 months was at the old. So again, I'm going to say 10 months times 100 X's, which gives me 1,000 X's. Then there was the January and February plus the extra month. So there's 3 of them times 100 X's, but it increased by 300 Rand per month. So that gives me 300 X's plus 900. So if we made a mass sum out of this, we've got 1,300 X's plus 900 equals 33,400. Now you should be able to solve this from mass. You know that you take this over and it becomes minus 900. So your 1,300 X's then, in this case, is equal to 32,500. You divide by 1,300 on both sides, and we are going to multiply. If you just got that's going to give you what 1 X is. But now we need to multiply by March is 100 X's plus the 300. So if we work this out there, so this comes to 2,500, 32,500 divided by 13 times 100 plus the 300 Rand for the increase is 2,800. So a little bit more complicated because there's 3 months extra, so you're going to take away the 3 months. So those 13 months then are actually at 32,500, which comes to an amount of 2,500 per month. That was the old, and now there's been an increase of 300, so it comes to 2,800 Rand per month. Now in this case, this amount is being received in advance, so you will minus it from your rent and you will add it on to income received in advance. Now, as I said, this is a very common adjustment. You're going to get a lot of adjustments where you are going to have to work out either with an increase of a percentage or an increase of the amounts. And so practice this, and as you're working through the adjustments, make sure that you understand this all.